All right, so we are now here for looking at and understanding how I break down a question and how I create an answer in my mind. So first of all, I have been seeing everybody's facing writing problems, writing issues, and that is why we are doing this. That is why I'm bringing this up, so that you understand on how I am breaking down a question, how you see I pick out ideas, how you see I write down ideas as soon as I see something important in the question, and you'll, I think gain a better perspective. So let's start. First of all, I will always keep a rough sheet with me, or I will use the online notepad to write down important stuff. That's my style. So let's read. It is now 4 weeks since the successful completion of the colored hybrid mattresses contract. The contract has led to further inquiries, and senior management have decided to produce and sell colored hybrid mattresses for a trial period. So in my notes, I will write down new product, colored hybrid mattresses. All right. That's all that I'm writing as of now. Nothing new, nothing more. Continue. You receive the following email from Una Walk, who is the finance manager. So, Una to finance officer. The subject is machine hire and outsourcing. Now, we have all the necessary skills and equipment in house to produce the new colored mattresses. So, you have everything in house. You don't need anything extra. With the exception of an analysis machine needed to ensure the correct weight and chemical balance of the colors put into the process. So you need one extra machine. Except for that, you have everything else with you. We have shortlisted 3 machines that we could hire. Each has a 6-month minimum hire period, but different fixed charges per month and cost per analysis operation. So obviously each machine has been hired for a 6-month period, but they have different fixed charges, different costs. The number of analysis operations that we need to perform is uncertain and will depend upon the level of contaminant in the raw materials. So how much you will have to check, we don't really know. The senior managers have to understand that the decisions need to be taken under the conditions of uncertainty because you don't have a probability. And I have produced a payoff table and a regret table in order to help us to decide whether it is better financially to choose machine 1, machine 2, machine 3. So I straight away know in my notes that this question has to do with the topic of risk, right? So I'll keep that theme in my mind. This is from my risk P1 syllabus so that I don't go wrong in any way. They are clearly telling you that a payoff table and a regret table has been given to you. Your life is made easy. The payoff table shows the total cost of hiring and operating the machine for each of the possible contaminant level outcomes. So they're telling you that the cost for hiring, operating has been given. Unfortunately, I have no time to write an explanation of the tables. So she has no time to write an explanation. So obviously, if she doesn't have the time, meaning you will have to do the explanation, right? So even before I reach the task, I will keep in mind explanation of the table to be done by me. Continuing to read. An alternative to hiring a machine would be to outsource the process. So if I don't hire the machine, I can outsource it. We know that there are 4 companies in Eastland that offer this service and charge the same fee for each analysis performed. Preliminary investigations show that all 4 companies have a similar turnover and financially stable. So it doesn't matter which company you choose, you just have to decide whether you want to outsource or not. So second theme, outsourcing. I have not reached the task yet. They have not reached what they've exactly asked me. I'm just putting down the information in the question to understand the theme of the question. Please produce a briefing note for senior management that covers the following. First, so now I reach the task. So I say task 1 very clearly. An explanation of the 3 decision criteria we could use. That's the first part. So explanation of 3 decision criteria we could use. So 3 decision criteria to be explained. Okay. Given the uncertainty and how each of these can help us decide whether to choose machine 1, machine 2, or machine 3. So while explaining the decision criteria, second thing is whether to choose machine 1, machine 2, or machine 3. So I will have to keep that theme in mind, right? Let me move it down. All right. So that is task number 1. The 3 decision criteria need to be explained, and whether to choose machine 1, machine 2, or machine 3 also has to be told under each criteria. That's 56% of the task. 56 upon 100 into 25 gives me 14 marks for this task. So if this task is 14 marks, meaning I will have to write 6 to 7 points to explain, right? See how I'm breaking it down. So task number 1 summary is 14 marks, 6 to 7 points. The theme is going to be to explain the 3 decision criteria and whether to choose machine 1, machine 2, or machine 3 under that criteria that you explain. This is only task 1. Task 2 is for obviously the remaining 11 marks. So I know I will have to write 5 points to explain. And then I read the task. Advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing the process instead of carrying it out in-house. So they want advantages and disadvantages. So I will say advantages of outsourcing. Let's say 2 to 3 points. Disadvantages of outsourcing 2 to 3 points. Job done, because that's all that I need to give them, right? So advantages of outsourcing 2 to 3 points, disadvantages of outsourcing 2 to 3 points. This way I break down the question. Further, there is an attachment that I have to read. So let's read that. Let's not forget that. So the attachment given one is the payoff table. They have already told you as part of the question. And then there is a regret table, which they've already told you. So when you are doing the decision criteria, I should now have in mind that the 3 decision criteria will be the maximax, minimax regret, and the maximin approach, because that's what is explained as part of our P1 risk syllabus, right? So I will write down each part, I will explain each part and tell them the decision based on each part. So based on maximax, what will we go for? Based on minimax regret, what will we go for? Now over here, life is made easy for you because the regret table has been given. So you don't even have to calculate it. Your job is to simply just, explain the numbers. Explanation is all that they want. So see, I think I spent about, I don't know, about 9-10 minutes since I began. Let's say 12 minutes since I began. And in those 12 minutes on the higher side, you can see that while talking, while explaining, while going here and there, I have broken down the question in such an easy way, giving me a clear cut idea on what they want, so that I don't even need to look at the question again. So I'm not wasting any time. I'm not keeping on going back to the question. I read the question, I create my theme, I write down how much I'm going to write, and then I go on and explain. And that is what you will see in my answer as well. Clear cut presentations. So you will see I start directly by the 3 decision criteria because that's my heading. So for a maximax criteria, a decision maker that uses the maximax criteria, we already know is an optimist seeking for the best possible option. Using this approach, the option chosen will be the one that maximizes the maximum payoff. Again, as we are dealing with costs over here, your objective is to minimize the total cost, and hence the criteria might be better described as minimizing the minimum costs. Minimum costs, you will look at the table and obviously you will choose the machine with the lowest possible cost. Not looking at the probability, not looking at whether this will occur or not, You want to find the minimum cost possible because you're a risk taker. So, okay, 9,500 is what we choose machine 2. And see, I break it down so clearly, so easily, and clearly tell them the decision as well that we should choose machine 2. Same I will do with the maximum criterion. Same I will do with the minimax regret criterion. Like I said, regret table has been given to you, so you don't have to even calculate it. And then we come to the second part, which is outsourcing. I give them three advantages for outsourcing, obviously relating them to amazing beds. And same way, I will give them three disadvantages of outsourcing, and my job is done. So you can see that no matter what the question is, it seems difficult in the outset, maybe, but once you start, once you know that, okay, this is what they're asking me, I'm sure by now you have developed a skill and developed an ability to break down the question. And if you do it this way, try to do it this way so that you don't have to keep going back, so that you know what the question is, and so that you understand the theme before you start to write. So this is my suggestion. You can use it if it works for you, but I need to see a complete answer. I need to see an answer where you have explained every single thing that they've asked in the details that they have asked. So I hope this has helped everyone.